Welcome to Solving Mysteries with LaTroy. And on this episode, it's a lot of controversy behind this. I am going into the marriage and life of Ike Turner. And I know y'all wondering, like, why would you go into Ike Turner? I'm wanting to just humanize. I just want to humanize Ike Turner. Ike Turner has been dehumanized and is now the poster child for abuse. So if you're easily triggered, you don't need to watch this video. Now let's begin. What do we know about Ike Turner and Tina Turner? We know that he was a drug addict and he beat the shit out of Tina. That's all we know based off a movie. That's critical. Based off a movie. Now, what is my point in all of this? My point is to just stop believing one side of people's story and just apply your logic to make sure that you continue to hear both sides of a story, whether you want to hear this shit or not, to get the complete truth. Don't y'all love facts? Don't we all love facts, right? We love the facts. But the fact is, you cannot hear a story from one side. Now, let's continue. Who was Ike Turner? A lot of you don't know that Ike Turner, when he was just a little boy, witnessed his father being tortured and murdered right in front of him by a mob of whites. You can look this up. He was being tortured and murdered. That was the first few things. Some of y'all can't even get over an ass whooping with switches when you was a child. So imagine growing up and you seeing your dad get killed and tortured right in front of you. That's some traumatic shit. Okay? What happens? His mother and father, before that happened, were church-going individuals. They were good church folks that you sit in church with every Sunday. So he's killed. Then his mother remarries an alcoholic abuser. So he's now witnessing his dad just got killed, and now he has to see another man beating on his mama and beating on him too. This is just painting this picture. I just want to paint this picture. So after he goes through this abuse, he runs away. He does what a lot of logical people would do. Think about this. What a lot of logical people would do in an abusive situation is run away, get out. Because he's a child, he got to run away to the streets. It's the streets are right there with open arms. Like, hey, we here for you. And after that, his life is hard. That is what a lot of these articles just say. He just had a hard life. And he probably was whooping ass, getting his ass whooped, doing drugs, going to jail, whatever. This is his life. Out of all of that shit, he reemerges and becomes one of the inventors of rock and roll. Not fucking Elvis Presley. It was Ike Turner. Now, he's doing this thing with his music. He own. At this point, he's on. Okay? He on. He meets Tina and they get married. Now, Ike says she met him and he was like this. She knew that he was like this and stayed married to him for 18 years. 18 years. Now, I have an interview pulled up right here with Ike Turner, who basically is having them ask him questions about the movie. Okay? He's being asked questions about these movies, and he's saying, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. But he also would be like, and I slapped her. So this is coming from an individual who's already self-admitting that he put his hands on her. Now, just to give you a little bit more background information about back in the day, where the fuck does pimp slap come from? Where the fuck does a bitch slap come from? Where the fuck does a rule of thumb come from? All of that is old school shit. All that shit is old school. Meaning that it was acceptable in certain households to put your hand and slap the shit out your woman. I'm gonna let y'all watch this video in a minute, but I just want to let y'all actually think about this shit. Because she was with him for 18 years dealing with this shit. Now, what else do we know? We know that, and I'm gonna tell some of this shit, that way y'all can just look at the video non-stop. But he says he would ask her a question, and she'll be like, I don't know, everything's okay. He said, what's wrong with you? Oh, it's fine, everything's fine. He's like, I know something's wrong with you. And then he goes and slap the shit out of her, and now she's telling everything about what's wrong. Now, what do women do today? Hey, what's wrong with you? Oh, nothing. What's wrong with you? There's something wrong with you. Oh, nothing's wrong. And then later on, I just found it funny, woody woo. You know what I'm saying? But back in the days, he slapped her. Now, if you think about today in the toxic relationships, because that's all this shit was a toxic relationship. Basically, how can I put this? The video says, oh, when we had sex, it felt like rape. So you mean to tell me for 18 years, when y'all had sex, this was rape? No, this was, what's wrong? I slapped the shit out you. She tell him what's wrong, and then he apologized, and then they have makeup sex. The Jody and the fucking baby boy Jody type sex. He hits her and cries, and oh, that's what the fuck this was. Okay? So some of y'all is going through this shit right now. Now, if little old Ike Turner had the mind frame to run away from abuse as a child, why the fuck didn't Tina run away? Why the fuck? You don't think she couldn't have got away from him? But see, the movie will make it seem like he needed her and he just couldn't let her go. This nigga just invented rock and roll. He don't fucking need her at all. She needs him. Let's get this shit clear. She needs him. Okay? And why would she need him? To become a superstar. If it wasn't for Ike Turner, there would be no Tina Turner. Hence the movie, What's Love Got to Do With It? Because it ain't have shit to do with it. For 18 years, this shit was about business. Straight up, trying to get into the music industry. And then what happens? A movie comes out, completely demonizes Ike Turner, and because of how we are, We just see a movie and believe everything, just like 8 Mile. That's why y'all think Eminem is the greatest fucking rapper because of 8 Mile. And not because if you actually look at his actual videos of him freestyling and shit, it wasn't that fucking raw, nigga. But that's another story, cause I'm just showing y'all how y'all get caught up in these movies and then be giving these people all type of crazy respect. Those Eminem raps in that movie were scripted. He wrote that shit. It was scripted for Papa Doc to choke. I mean, real talk. So we gonna watch the video. We're gonna watch the interview.
Guy gets Ike to open up and talk about the alleged beatings he gave his former wife, Tina. In today's Star Profile segment, we get a closer look at Ike Turner.
Oh, so you don't know.
Leave her alone, Ike.
I came to read something from the May issue of Vanity Fair. It says, quote, Ike Turner struck Tina on a regular basis for 16 years. With everything from shoes to coat hangers, once putting a burning cigarette to her lips.
Okay, I stop you. I know where you're going. Okay, with all of this, if you look at Tina, you see the little scar. She said I broke her jaw on it. If you ask a doctor can tell you, if I broke her jaw, no way is she going on stage.
You admit that you have slapped Tina before, but why, Ike?
She would be walking around looking sad, with a lip drop, and I keep asking her, and what is the matter with you? What's wrong? And it's always, nothing. Yeah, and it would go on for a day or two till finally, why the don't you? And then this is where I would snap her or something. Then she would change her mood or attitude or something. Let me tell you, that's how I would say this. I would do no more to Tina, and I did no more to Tina than I would want somebody to do to my mother.
You peeped that. No more than what he would do to his mother, from what he seen, what he thought was right.
The one chick, I swear, boy. They ain't missing no. Look, I had. There are very few ICAs that I didn't go with. If it's anything, man, I never even had time. I wanted to make love at home. I mean, unless it was through guilt that I don't.
Do you ever regret anything that happened between you and Tina?
No, but I don't see why I should be put down on. Whatever I did for 18 years that we were together, man, it fed us, it slept us, it raised our kids, it put them to school, it did whatever we did. And so I don't know how all of this could have been bad.
We never, ever do nothing nice. Please.
For Screen Scene, I'm Mary Major Jack.
Make sure you tune in tomorrow for part 3 of our exclusive.
Now that's just a little snippet from one interview. To me, this man ain't got no reason to lie if he already telling you he hitting her. How many abusers actually admit the fact that they actually put their hands on somebody? They be trying to act like they innocent. He not claiming innocence. He just telling you what happened. But who is claiming innocence from this situation? All I'm saying is that when it comes to abuse, man, this shit wrong as fuck. Domestic violence is wrong as fuck. And you have to admit your role in this shit. You can't sit here and demonize somebody, but then you're also manipulating and using this also person to make your story this great. Tell the truth is what I'm saying. Peace.